And I need a break. I want to start into the tear on this. I've kind of got the outside design, but I can't really design the inside until I have it stripped and tore out. So I'm going to do some of the tear out today. And then later on this evening when it gets cooler and handle it, I can go finish painting the bus, get it finished, getting it ready to sell kind of thing. This heat is horrible. So look at this. All this up here, right here, there's some big cable if that's real. Back here, I'm guessing it goes up and along this so it's easy to access for maintenance and such. Also, you can see the reflectance insulation, maybe a little foam. It's not much, that's for sure. Look at this. There's a 2x2 aluminum structure, and look at this. This is their idea of insulation in here. So this little, I wouldn't call this insulation. We're definitely going to go back with way better insulation than what's in here. Aluminum. And it looks like they did some welds, or it looks like someone patched up some dirty, nasty welds. Might have just been a tack to hold it in place. Anyhow, it looks like they used a spool gun. Man, that's rough welds. But, you know, I'm not expert and I haven't done it yet, so I might be saying that it might be prettier than mine. Who knows? Ooh, look, there's plywood behind there. And it is not plywood underneath there. It is a honeycomb material. We might end up going back to the same weights that we kind of took apart. But hey, it feels more roomy. Now imagine this with a 2-foot roof raise on it. And maybe a 1.5 feet. This will seem huge. It will seem huge from the outside. But not as big as it seems on the inside. Alright. Anyhow, I stripped out my 2 square bit things, so I guess I'm done with that part until I can get more square bits. Pulled this thing down. That panel that goes back there with all the switches on it. Pulled this down, got a big whole bunch of dust and everything else. But there's some things in here, but you can kind of see more of the aluminum, whatever it's called, on plywood. I don't know why they use plywood, but whatever. This is all coming out, and I got an additional 6 inches back there probably. I'll probably have less by the time I go back in with insulation, but yeah. I'm going to take off what I can take off in here without having the screw bit. Or the square bit. That's so annoying. So I wanted to wait until I can get another square bit to do it. But I got all of this off over here, and that out and cleaned, and the venting system. They actually ran all their wiring up through the ceiling here. I'm pretty sure I mentioned that before. But I can see my dual blowers up here that quit working on me for the AC, but I think I can get them working maybe again. If nothing else, I'm going to try to keep the AC and the heater up there and keep and use it, so I just drop in another AC or use it as a circulation system. So sometimes a screw, nut driver, a hammer, a chisel is not enough for removing screws. So sometimes you got to get a drill out and just drill the head off the bolt or nut or whatever you're trying to remove, and you just break it apart. At this time I was actually trying to take apart good enough that I didn't destroy stuff, but you know, sometimes you just got to get in there and take it apart. I had to do, I don't know how many of these whenever I was doing the bus. I used screws, grinders, and whatever else to take the inside panels off the bus. This has so far been a way easier process than the bus ever has been, or ever will be. So, we're just going to get this all drilled out, pulled off, and ready to go. And sometimes, no matter how many times you try to find all the bolts to take something out, you just can't manage to find it all, and that's what the Sawzall is for. Just rip it all out. It's kind of fun. And even when you use a Sawzall, sometimes it still doesn't get you there. It doesn't get you out. So sometimes you just gotta look at stuff closer and not in the middle of the night when you're tired, you're hot, and you just want to get it out. See how long it's left. Alright, back into grungies again today. I've moved the ambulance backwards in the shade so I can work on it some more and not be burning up. I have taken a break. We are currently actually going to get a sewer line put in here on the property. We've been running off a septic for the whole time, but the city won't, well, the septic system needs to be replaced and the city won't let us replace it with what's there. They require us to put in what they call a sprinkler system. Basically, it goes into a holding tank and goes through a filtering process and then sprinkles it back out on the lawn. We don't want to do that, and there's actually city sewer running behind the property, and so they're gonna, instead of replacing the septic system, put in a sewer line going back. It's about 30-foot drop and it's about 900 feet back. So they're going to be doing that maybe for a couple days. I don't know if they'll show up in here or not, but that's kind of what's going on in the background. That's why I keep moving the ambulance around. But we're going to finish the tear out process, at least attempt to, and go from there. I've actually been messing with this section for quite a while. It's held in there like they glued it in place, which is kind of a pain. I'm going to take these out too. But despite everything, I think we are very close to doing a roof raise in here. I am currently trying to research welders. I've heard both MIG and TIG both can do aluminum. If you want pretty, you want TIG. And if you want this to get it done and easier to learn, you want MIG. But I haven't decided if I want MIG or TIG. I really would like to have both, but both puts it out of my price range right now. I am also looking at options of paying someone to TIG aluminum on here because it's structural. But I heard TIG's a lot harder to learn on. The only other reason I want to go with TIG is because I want to build a bicycle in the future, and TIG would make it easier to do that and prettier. I want to do an e-bike with a new Vinci infinite adjustable transmission on it, but I don't know if that's going to happen. That depends on a lot of other things getting done first, so we will visit that as far as welders later and all that fun stuff. I hate how dusty it's in here. There's actually layers of dust on top of everything. Every time I pull it off, I find layers of dust on top of everything. It's pretty insane. But anyhow, we are going to tear this one out and hopefully not rip apart our AC lines, which is the AC unit is up here for air conditioning and heater. And I've been trying to figure out how to get the back of that off so I can keep it clear, so I can just drop it down and move it out of the way and get the rest of this ripped out of here so we see what we have to work with. But I got it in there pretty solid. Now, if I can get this off, we'll be in there. I might come in here. I think I'm gonna sawzall a chunk of this out, a chunk of that out, and kind of work my way and this doing the violent demolition kind of style of taking stuff out. I'm just gonna make sure I don't get any wires in there or anything else like that. Once I get this kind of tore out of here and I can get this, I can get all this wire cleared and the air conditioning line, and I can pull that out and set it down without damaging it, because it's the main air conditioning line for the entire vehicle. It's basically tied into the cab one, so if I break it, well, for one, I lose a bunch of fluid, and that's not good for the environment. For two, my air conditioner will be gone in my cab, which I really don't want to do it. Also, the other thing, I'm trying to keep all the wiring relatively intact, so whenever I get everything stripped out of this, I can go down to the weigh station and have it weighed, have it base empty weight, so I know kind of where I'm at. I'm going by the factory specs on the full loaded weight. It's like 9,040 pounds or something like that. I have roughly 4,000 to 5,000 pounds to play with from the factory weight to fully loaded in here. I'm going to try, as soon as I figure out which way I had to pull this, I'm going to try to get the seat out today. Well, this is my cheater bar. It actually remains from the roof raise in the bus. It's the bar inside of the bar that I used, and this works really good for cheating. Mainly got this nice thin handle here and this nice big one, so almost all my sockets will fit inside of it, so when I have to cheat, I can. I think the penetrating lube is working. If I was doing this properly, I'd go over to the one on the opposite corner, complete opposite corner. But I'm just trying to get it out in a decent piece. If I really need to, I could get a long pull on it, but I haven't had to do that except for really big pulls. Can we turn it by hand easy enough? Yes, we can. Let's remove this. The dog barking. Oh, that one's rusty all the way through. Yep. That's one. I'm so tired of it. Eyes off. Goodbye, my lovely seat. Oh. And this is as far as I've gotten as of today. Basically, the heat's been kicking my butt, and trying to get everything kind of caught up, and learning about aluminum welding has been fun. A little sarcasm in there. It's been quite overwhelming and exhausting. Anyhow, for future reference, if you ever get to do an ambulance build or removal, please note that taking up the floor vinyl is very important to do first thing, because it hides all the screws and other fasteners that hold the cabinets to the side, which make it a lot easier to take out if you can get those screws out and you don't have to sawzall as much. But for the most part, this is still the easiest build disassembly I have done so far.